Okay, we're going to talk about spill prevention. Concordia University has what's called the SPCC plan, which is Spill Prevention, Containment, and Control. We want to be good stewards to the environment. We don't want any chemicals or oils or anything going into or seeping into our sewers or into our ground. So this program was written specifically around it and also to meet OSHA. This will affect anything in the parking lot, anything from oil dripping out of your car to antifreeze to gasoline to where we are right here in the labs. We have about 30 spill kits throughout the university, which anybody can use. We don't want you to pick up a spill and mitigate it by cleaning it. All we want you to do is do it safely. If you don't feel it's safe, don't do it. We want you to use the products that are in the spill kit. We'll go through it very briefly. Contact myself or Dr. Aaron Miller or Steve Hibbert or me or the campus safety. They will get a hold of one of us, which in turn then we will pick up the spill and see that it is picked up by a company that's capable of handling whatever the spill could be. It could be a chemical. If it's small oil or gasoline, we're capable of doing it, and the proper paperwork is filled out, and then in turn it's cleaned up. Inside the spill kits that are here, and this will also include elevators, which is another portion of it. Give you an example, the spill kits will be noted, it'll say right on it that it's a spill kit, emergency spill kit. All of them have a barcode on them, so we know we check them once a month that they are filled with the proper stuff. It has a specific amount of product in it. Some of the things is again, we talked about safety. We want you to wear the gloves that are made for the spill kit that are in here. There are safety glasses that are in here. These happen to be absorbent pads, so if it is a minor leak, this in turn can be put down onto the ground itself and can spill onto here and absorb it. There is different chemical absorbents which are in here for different types of chemicals that could go on the ground. There's a little bucket with some kitty litter most people use, and you can use it in your home. And then there's these are called pigs, and basically this would be for a larger spill where you don't want it to start running off, and then that can be laid down onto the ground. Anytime the kits are used and we need to be notified of it, Dr. Miller needs to be notified of it. So again, we know what's being spilled. I'm going to have Dr. Miller just come in here for a minute because we are in a chemistry lab, and basically he can talk very briefly about some of the units here. Every chemistry lab does have a spill kit, and some of the items that he and his staff may not want you to pick up if you were spilled. So if you want to just speak briefly to the different types of chemicals we could be using here that we wouldn't want them to get in touch with.
All right, so obviously if the chemical is something that you don't know, you're not comfortable dealing with it, you haven't worked with it before, in that case it's safer just to contact campus safety, contact me, or contact Charlie in order to come up with the best plan for getting rid of that spill, cleaning up that spill. So you're not obligated to clean up the spill. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, don't put yourself at risk and clean up that spill. Now, if you do know what you spilled, if you're comfortable working with that chemical, if it's not going to be giving off any harmful fumes within the room, you can attempt to clean up the spill. And we've got a few different things for doing that. Charlie mentioned already that we have some absorbent type pads. We also have some chemicals in here that are powders that can be put onto the spill that will neutralize it. You want to make sure you read what's on the container, because there are different ones, but they look kind of similar. This one happens to be for acid spills. So if I put this on an acid that I've spilled, it's going to neutralize it. There should be other ones that are for different types of chemicals, such as organic solvents. So that's one option that you have out there, in addition to the absorbent pads and the other things. So you want to consider, again, the size of the spill. Some spills might be too big. It might not be practical to try to neutralize them with something like this. In that case, maybe using one of these pigs and just going for containment might be your best mechanism. You want to make sure that the spill doesn't reach any drains. So if we can keep the spills contained and keep them from entering the sewers or entering any types of waterways, that's a good thing. So keep that in mind as you're looking through the procedures. and looking through the spill kit and the different equipment that you have. Another thing to consider is the proper personal protective equipment. So anytime I'm going to be dealing with a spill, I want to be wearing a lab coat, so have protective clothing, and gloves. Another important thing to consider, we want to make sure that we're using gloves that are compatible with what we're handling. So the nitrile gloves that are found in these safety kits, in the spill kits, are compatible with most of the substances that we work with in our labs here, but not all. So you want to make sure that your gloves are compatible. This is something that you can look up. There are glove compatibility charts. It might not be something that you're going to run out and do in the case of a spill. So again here, if you're not sure, if you don't know that these are going to protect you, then don't use them and consult one of the campus safety people or Charlie or me.